Mr. Wrestling God. Oh, don't worry. This is not that promo that Bad Moon promised that he had in the chamber for you. No. Originally, I did not have any plans of recording another promo. But since you left so much meat on the bones from your last promo to the comments, Mr. Wrestling God, I just had to. Consider this a freebie from your Power Surge champion. Help me understand, Wrestling God. In your second promo, you were praising Bad Moon, thanking him for the support and being a fan. But all of a sudden, you came down and said that all that I did was take a question from your podcast. You said that question wasn't relevant to this storyline. Allow me to highlight that question, Mr. Wrestling God, is very relevant to this storyline. It's very relevant to this promo series, Mr. Wrestling God, in every single promo series that you would have had the moment that you asked that question. You see, I don't know if you don't know this, but your question was, what makes an E-Fetter / wrestler a legend? E-Fetter, wrestler. Correct, Bad Moon, if I'm wrong, but what is PWR? You're in a federation of wrestlers. Guys who have fought in other promotions, who have established their careers and came here to add more accolades to their legacies. You are here in a match against me in PWR with other wrestlers who are in their own right legends as well. But you say that question has no relevance to PWR. It has all the relevance that you could ask for. One, it's asking about what makes a legend in a place like this, Mr. Wrestling God. Also, it's very relevant because you're facing an opponent that has legend in his name. Even though it wasn't a shot at me. But remember from part 1, Mr. Wrestling God, how I told you at the end, if I were you, I would use that at me. That's one of the differences between you and I, Mr. Wrestling God. You think too small. So you got mad at Bad Moon because he had a strategy against his challenger. Just like every single challenger, opponent that I have faced, Mr. Wrestling God, Bad Moon, always has a strategy for them. But let's move on. It's funny how you try to say that Bad Moon is trying to be a tough guy. At what part of any of my promos have I sounded like a tough guy? Point out one time in my promos, Mr. Wrestling God, when Bad Moon called you out of your name, threw insults at you, threw shots at you, got up into the camera, Mr. Wrestling God, and threatened your life, told you that you will never be the same again. Bad Moon didn't say none of that. I didn't get on the camera. I didn't stick my chest out and try to sound like a thug, like a bully, like the aggressor, like you have. Watching your promos, Mr. Evan Jones, Mr. Wrestling God. Everything that you try to say that Bad Moon is trying to be, you displayed. It's not my fault that I was able to sidestep your limited offense. I've heard a lot worse from better. So you want to sit here and do your little insults. That's cool. That's cute. But Bad Moon is not fazed by insults and cheap shots. The main reason why I told you that I was comfortable, Mr. Wrestling God, is because for this entire week, you didn't do anything to make me have a sense of urgency. Nothing you did, Mr. Wrestling God, made me instantly respond to you. In the comments, you're talking about me jumping on your post. It's funny, out of 3 promos, Mr. Wrestling God, Bad Moon has only really commented on 1. I took my time responding to you. There was no sense of urgency. There was no need to give you an instant response because nothing you said was worthy of an instant response. It's not my fault that you, after 2 promos, didn't have nothing left, that you blew your entire load the moment that this match was announced. That's not my fault. That's yours. It's not my fault, Mr. Wrestling God, that you are very limited. Sadly, you started this series by calling me a fraud, a fake, a phony. But the only one that is a fake, a fraud, a phony is you. You are a fake contender. You are a fraud God. You are a phony legend. Your credibility is nothing more than a good shit. Now, if Bad Moon would have resorted to the insults, I would have came up with something a little bit more clever than the Java laugh. The fuck? I would have took a shot at how you are a fake Jerry Lawler, trying to impersonate a fake JBL.